Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Mama Mystique, and I'm back. And what I am going to be doing today is seed starting. I'm going to start some seeds for the spring. What I'm going to sow is some little gem lettuce. I'm going to sow some purple top turnips. And I'm going to sow some spinach seeds that I harvested myself last year. I usually always let my crops, at least like one plant out of my crop, I'll let it go to flower. And once it goes to flower, you can collect seeds. So it's always good to collect seeds because you don't want to have to buy seeds every year. And if you continue to collect seeds, you'll always have an abundance of seeds. You'll be able to share seeds and you'll be able to get seeds to people to potentially help them grow something. Here I have my potting mix. So when you get your potting mix, I bought mine from Home Depot. You can get any potting mix you want. I'm not going to advertise any potting mix because they don't. I'm not endorsing anyone because they don't pay me to do it. So you get your potting mix, whichever one you decide to get. And what you want to do is put it into some type of bowl or container. And you want to put some water in it because it's normally really dry and you don't want to have dirt and dust flying all over the place. So you want to put enough water in it to get it kind of to let's say like a brownie consistency if you were mixing brownies. And this is how your consistency for a brownie mix would be. It's not going to be too wet, but it's going to be wet enough to where you would actually be able to make little balls, okay? So I have this plastic egg carton that I'm going to repurposely use. And what I did beforehand was I punched little holes in the bottom of it. I heated up a pair of scissors and used the sharp end. I heated it up on the stove, or you can use a lighter, whatever you have, and I just pierced the bottom. I put 2 piercings on the bottom of the egg crate, so this way it will have a draining system going, because you definitely, once you water it, you want it to be able to drain properly. Okay, so now I'm just going to start filling it. You know, growing doesn't have to be something that's like so hard to do. Some people are just like, oh, I don't have a green thumb, and oh, I can't grow anything. Oh, I kill everything. Well, you know what? Even the best at growing, even the people that are best at growing, believe it or not, kill things. I'm a pretty good grower. My grandmother told me that I had a green thumb from when I was 6 years old. I used to help my grandmother with her plants and water her plants and her flowers and whatnot. And she told me I had a green thumb from then. Now, does that mean that I really had a green thumb? I don't know, but just from her saying that, that encouragement encouraged me to keep with it. You know, I've always admired other people's plants when I was younger, like let's say a teenager, when I wasn't really prepared to have any plants of my own at that time. But I've always admired plants and people that were growing things, and anything that had to do with growing was always fascinating to me, and hopefully it is to you. So as you can see, there's some twigs in here because these are good for drainage, but this is really, it's not enough space in my egg carton for those big twigs, so I'll just pull them out. I'm just using a spoon so that I can kind of exactly get it into the spot. You can use your hands if you want to, but the area that I'm in, I really don't want to get it like so dirty, you know, so you can lay something down underneath. Like I have a piece of paper underneath, so this way I'm not getting so much dirt on my table. You can do the same, you know, and you just continue on until you fill. So I'm going to fill 12 spaces. That's the whole dozen. And I'm going to use, as you saw in the beginning, I showed you 3 different seeds that I'm going to start. So I'm just going to start 4 for each. So I'm going to do a set of spinach. I'm going to do a set of purple top turnips, and I'm going to do a set of the little gem lettuce. And these particular seeds, and the thing is, it goes by your region. So you want to make sure that whatever region you're in, the seeds that you're starting are going to be tolerant to the weather of where you are. I am going to start these indoors. I'm starting these indoors, but I'm actually going to sit this outside starting tomorrow. Being that I have this little egg carton situation, this is a situation where I can close the top and create a greenhouse effect. So that way it won't really get frozen. But here in New York, we're going to have some pretty good weather this week. And I believe these seeds will be all right outside. I'm not going to put them out today, only because today is really cold, like it's freezing outside. So tomorrow I will set them out and they'll be fine. But again, these are cold tolerant seeds that I am putting out. So lettuce is something that it's not going to do well in the summer. Lettuce is something that will do way better spring and fall. Okay. And even though it's not exactly spring, once you get certain temperatures, you'll be okay. And even if a little frost gets on it, it won't be so bad. But if the temperatures drop really, really bad, I might bring them in. But it just all depends. Like I said, I'm gonna have the greenhouse situation going. Okay, so back to this egg carton. You want to make sure you pack the soil down really, really well. You want to pack it down. Pack. You don't want to have too much air going on in it. You want to make sure that it's packed down pretty good. Okay. So I'm going to start with the spinach, and I'm going to write this down because I want to make sure I know what's what. But after growing for some time, you'll pretty much know what's what when it's coming up. You'll know what different things look like coming up. So I'm just going to, let's see if I can write an S right here for spinach. So I know that this is where I'm doing my spinach. Okay. So I have my spinach seeds. So my spinach seeds. Okay. And I'm just going to put 2 seeds in each. I'm not going to get crazy. Just going to do 2 seeds in each. 2 seeds in each. And I actually have this little straw that I'm going to use, where I'm going to use it to poke me some holes. And you don't want to put it too deep. That's why I just poke me the little hole. Poke a little hole. And then you drop your seed in. I'm going to use this to knock my seed down in there. Then, it went in the same hole. I'm going to knock it over into the hole. Okay. Put another hole, 2 more holes. And again, you don't want to go too deep. Sometimes people say, I sowed the seeds and nothing came up. It's probably that you put it too deep. You don't want to put it too deep. Okay? You don't want to put it too deep. Put 2 more holes here and here. So altogether it'll be 8 seeds of the spinach that I am sowing. All right. And what I'll definitely do a follow-up video to show you what's going on with the growth of these seeds. and we'll just keep a watchful eye on them. So I'm just going to cover it up lightly, tap, 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 cover it up. Okay, and that's the spinach. Okay, put these excess seeds back in. All right, and the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the turnip. Put a little T right here so I'll know. This is a permanent mark I have. Put a T there so I'll know that this is the turnip. Because it's hard to put a marker in here because it's a very small space. And these things are not going to be in there too long. I'm just basically going to have them in there until they grow a few of the true leaf, and then I'll take it out. And as you can see, these turnip seeds are really, really small, so you don't have to go so deep. The smaller the seed, the shallower the hole you have to make to plant it. When the seeds are small, you don't have to go so deep. Bigger seeds, you go deeper. Okay? Let me turn the camera a little bit so you can see that I am. Okay, so these seeds are really, really small, so don't take your time. Make sure you get your seed in there. Make sure you're not throwing it somewhere else, because it happens where you'll be sowing seeds and you'll see that sometimes you'll be growing seeds that you meant for one space in another space, and you're like, how did that happen? It happened because the seeds are so tiny, right? And sometimes you just might drop it somewhere else. And then if you see something growing up and you're like, hey, I didn't even plant turnips there, we'll call those volunteers. Those are like your volunteer plants. Like they just came up, not so much out of nowhere because you know you planted them, but they came up in a space that you didn't necessarily, you weren't looking for it to grow. Like I'm not looking for my turnips to be growing in the same container with my spinach. And then we're just gonna cover that lightly. Lightly cover. I don't even know. I don't even see my second seed in this one. No, I think I'm gonna get another turnip seed. So I don't even see that turnip seed in there. Let's see. Try it again. I feel like it went in there. Did it? I don't know. Drop another one. I guess I'm gonna have quite a few turnip seeds growing out of that one. And that's okay. Because sometimes you might find that some plants are going to be stronger than others, you know. So you're just going to tap lightly to cover those over. Those are the turnips, the purple top turnips. Okay, so now we're going to do the lettuce. We're going to do the lettuce over here. I'm just going to put a little L on right on here, just an L, so I know that this is the lettuce. Okay, so I can keep track of what I have going on. And let's get the lettuce. Hope you can hear me. My microphone is doing a little something silly. And again, a lot of these seeds are really, really tiny, so you really, I'm going to show you these lettuce seeds. I don't even know if you see those lettuce seeds? Pretty tiny, okay? So they're that tiny, you definitely don't want to go so deep. And the lettuce grows pretty fast. And I try to grow as much lettuce as possible because I eat a lot of salads. And that's the thing, you want to grow what you eat. You don't want to spend too much time growing things just for novelty, even though some people do. Um, Me personally, especially if you're short on space, my garden is an urban garden. I'm in zone 7A. So I don't live in a rural place, but there's pros and there's cons to that. You know, the one good thing I can say about a rural space is for some of my gardening friends who are in a more rural space, they have more predators that come to bother their crops. For instance, they have deers and rabbits and all different types of things that will come and, you know, and not to even mention the insects as well. Now, I deal with some insects that will ravage through my crop, but I don't have to deal with deer, you know? Like that can be a bit troubling with the deer, because you can grow something like completely and you're ready to eat it, and then all of a sudden you find that the deer got a hold of it before you did. Okay, so again, you just want to lightly cover up the lettuce seeds. Get them lightly covered. Right. Okay. And I probably will plant some more lettuce seeds at some point. I'm just going to pack it down, each one a bit. You can use your fingers just to make sure everything is packed down. Yeah, that's it. The only thing I probably will do that won't be on this video is that I probably will poke some holes in the top of this, because I am creating a little greenhouse. And also I want to show you that I use the covering, because usually these eggs, they have this covering that goes on top if you buy eggs in this type of plastic container. So I just cut this top piece off that normally covers the egg crate carton, and I'm going to use this as a tray. So when I water this from now on, I'm going to bottom water it, because I don't want to dislodge any roots or any seeds now that they're already planted, right? So the soil is pretty wet. I had wetted, remember in the beginning, I made it like a brownie batter ahead of time, so I don't have to water this again. And that's it. All you would have to do is just make sure you have some holes in the top, just so you can get a little air in, because the condensation will build in and create that greenhouse effect. But you definitely want to put at least one hole in each one. And again, I just used a pair of scissors. I opened them up and I took the scissors and put them over the stove, or you can even use a lighter. You can use a lighter. You can light the edge of the sharp scissor. You light the edge, and then you can just poke a hole, gently poke holes. Okay? So subscribe if you haven't subscribed already to the channel, and we're going to start some seeds for the spring. I hope I have encouraged you and inspired you to grow some vegetables, grow some food, okay? It's so important. Again, I'm Mama Mystique, and we'll check on this in, let's say, about, as soon as I see something sprouting. So I should see something sprouting in about a week. So about a week or two from now, I'm going to give you an update on my veggies, okay? So until then, Mama Mystique, I'm out.